seen you. How are you? Yeah. I know. It can be so tough when there's so much going on. I'm so glad you signed up for tutoring with me. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be good. I have your grades right here from your last teacher. Let's go ahead and take a look at these, shall we? Okay. How's that your class? Let's see. Okay. Alright, so you did really good. That's wonderful. Good. Is history still your favorite? Right. I see that. Okay. Alright, so right off the bat, so really strong in writing. That's great. And it looks like, okay. How was documents in government for you? Okay, well maybe that's something we can work on together. And how about geography? Okay. No, it's perfectly fine. A lot of people struggle with documents and geography, so not a worry at all. I'm so glad we get to work together again. Wonderful. Okay, well, go ahead and set that to the side. Where would you like to start today? Well, we can go in really any direction you want to. We could start with geography. We could dive right into documents. Circle back to that later. That sounds good. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, for sure. Let's start with documents, since that seems to be the biggest area of growth, and that's very common. And then what we'll do is the next time we'll get together, we'll review what we talked about today, and then we can work on some geography. Okay? Yeah, and then if at any point you have any questions or just an area that's a little sticky, we can work through that too. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Okie dokie. Well, let's go ahead and let's just do kind of like a pre-assessment. Alright? So I got some flashcards here. You remember these? You know, big filling flashcards. So I'm just going to go through and look at a few here. I'm going to make some notes. Just to kind of get a baseline of your general understanding. I know we have the grades, but different teachers have different policies and that sort of thing. No pressure. Alright. Your writing looked really strong. How do you feel with vocab? Okay. So I'm going to put that one in too. Alright. Put that one in. Yep. That's okay, like I said, I'm just going to pick a few. Let's see. This will just kind of give us a place where we know we want to spend our time. There's no reason to get over it if you already know it. Okay. Some of these are repeats. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, I think that's going to be a great place to start. And then, like I said, we're going to see how these feel. And then if you want to come back and we can revisit these flashcards another time too. Okay, great. Alright, and if at any point I get to a word and you don't know what it means, that sometimes that can happen with old documents, just let me know because I have our vocab sheets right here all ready to go. Of course. Man, how to do it. You know, I love this stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's work, just kind of work in chronological order for a little bit here. Okay. So, what document was written during the American Revolution? Enlisted our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's okay, be bold. Take a guess. Okay. It's okay if you have to think about it. Good. Great job, yeah. Declaration of Independence, very good. That's good. What gave it away? Unalienable. That's good. You should be proud of that. That's a big word. What do you mean you don't know what it means? Your teacher just says that. Well, did you ask for help? How are you not going to ask for help? Well, who cares what they think? Just raise your hand and ask. It's going to be fine. That's okay. That's why we're here. You can ask me anything. It's a total safe space. No judgment. Believe me. We've seen it all. Okay, so here we can see unalienable rights. We're going to start here. It's okay if you don't know. That's where we're going to start. Is a person's basic rights that cannot be taken away by another person or government. Unalienable. Alien means away, and you remember what the prefix un means? Right, it's the opposite. So it's something that cannot be taken away. A right that cannot be taken away. Okay, good. Now we're going to come back to that one. Don't you worry. Okay. Speaking of, this one, listen. Which document was written during the American Revolution and had many weaknesses? Now, it's not the Declaration, but it was written around the same time. Okay, it's going to be Articles of Confederation. It's okay. Feel good. Believe me. Not the only one. All good. They weren't around very long. We'll talk about that. Okay. Which document, though I gave you a hint, which document provided for a weak national government? No, the Declaration's not a government. Try again. It was getting rid of government. The one I just said? What's it called? Yes, Articles of Confederation. Okay. That's good. What two branches of government did not exist in the Articles of Confederation? You know your three? So which one? Well, think about they didn't want a king. So what would a king be? Kind of like just like one person in charge of it all. Kind of like a president, right? You remember which branch is the president? Executive and judicial. They didn't want a king anymore. They just got rid of the king, King George III, during the Revolution. They didn't want to do that again. So they thought. And it left out courts. Don't worry, it's not all in articles. No. Delegates met. Do you know what delegate is? Put in your own words, what is a delegate? It's okay. Let me see if I have one handy. I don't. I thought I was ready. Delegates are representatives. So when we can't all physically go to meet to talk about something, we send a representative on our behalf. A delegate's similar. Yep, synonym. Delegates met to revise the Articles of Confederation where? Constitutional Convention. Do you know what convention means? It's just a big meeting. That's it. They knew they were having problems, so we gotta fix this. Okay. Kind of keeping with that theme, what document was signed at the Constitutional Convention? And it's not Declaration, and it's not Articles of Confederation. Hints in the name. Great. U.S. Constitution. Good. Okay, now, kind of speaking that from, what do we call the first 10 amendments or changes to the Constitution? It's okay, you can think about it, it's fine. You got it? It's okay. The Bill of Rights. These are our first 10 amendments or changes. There are 27 total, actually, right now. Yeah, in order for a new one to be added, it has to be proposed, and then 75% or 3/4 of the state conventions need to approve it. Yeah, it's called ratification. It's okay, we get there. It's okay. Okay, so this is going to be a challenge. Don't feel bad. Okay, so what 2 documents did the Bill of Rights take ideas from? No, they're totally new. Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Thanks for your honesty. It's okay. That's why we're here. If you don't know something, just ask. The Virginia Declaration of Rights and the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom. I know they are both Virginia documents, but it makes sense. Well, because James Madison was from Virginia, and he's the father of the Constitution, and George Mason's actually the author of the Virginia Declaration of Rights, and Thomas Jefferson is the Virginia Statute for the Religious Freedom. And so, they all were in that same space together, and so it kind of makes sense that they'd be from Virginia. Okay, great. Very good. Well, I think that gives me kind of a good idea of where you're at. Alright, so where do you want to spend our time today? We have more time, yeah. We can do that. Okay. Oh yeah. Totally. Let's go ahead and start. No, we did great. Let's stick with documents. I'm going to start at the beginning. Oh, it's not the real one. It's not National Treasure. Alright, so here we have kind of like a sample of the Declaration. It would have been much better, but what I want to draw your attention to is we have all of our signatures here at the bottom. I know, John Hancock's nice and big. Yeah, I wanted the king to see it first and foremost. Okay, so let's talk about this. So first thing that catches your eye, what do you see? Yeah, July 4th, 1776. Very good. Exactly. This is 4th of July, we're going to have fireworks, and this is kind of when we're celebrating this document. Okay, so now there's 4 main parts to the Declaration of Independence. The 2 main ones are really towards the end. Well, let's say there's 3. There's the introduction, talking about all the problems that the colonists had with the King of England, King George III. The second part is where they go on to describe, and Thomas Jefferson's the major author, though it was a committee, where he goes on to talk about all the problems, or what they think the king should be doing, what a good government looks like. This is where they talk about people have unalienable rights, such as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is taken in a kind of inspiration from John Locke and Thomas Paine, who were both kind of philosophers at the time, who were doing a lot of thinking and work on what it means to be human, and do we need a king? You know, can humans exist and make good choices without someone telling them what to do? Okay, but that's like not relevant. Yes, I understand that. But the point is that they see, and this was revolutionary, pun intended, because a king really could do anything he wanted. They have Magna Carta, which says that he's limited, but a king could take someone's land. A king could take someone's life. The next part is when they talk about grievances, and they list specifically everything that the king has done that they absolutely hate. And lastly, in closing, they say, this is the big one, we therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress, assembled appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world, do solemnly publish and declare that these United colonies, and of right to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, and establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may have right to do. And then they sign. This is a breakup letter. That's all it is. It's a breakup letter. Now, it's not a government, but it is one of our founding documents because it's where we describe for the first time what a government should look like. But this is not our first government. A lot of people get this one mixed up with our next one. What's the first thing we see here? I know it's pretty hard to miss. We the people. Good. This is our Constitution. And it's set up with articles. It's kind of like chapters. And the first paragraph is the preamble. What does the prefix pre mean? Kind of a funny question. Right, before. So this is going to be where it tells us everything that this document is going to lay out. Here's the goals for this document. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. This is really our government. I know. Think of it this way. If something happened, aliens come and somehow steal this document and take it back to their home planet. I know, work with me. They can recreate our entire government. This is the structure and the definition of our government. telling them exactly what it needs to look like. Yeah, it is cool. Article 1 is going to talk about the legislative branch and how it's going to set up Congress in 2 houses. That's called bicameral. Well, we're going to talk about that next time, but the Great Compromise was created during the Constitutional Convention. Some people, not all states, it's not like pieces of cake. States aren't created equal. Some are really big, some are really small. And some of the small ones have lots of people, and some of the big ones don't have a lot of people. And so that, there was this big fight of like, well, when we wrote this document and got rid of the Articles of Confederation, our first government, which was so weak, it was really a mistake. It was in response to the Britain's control, and then, it was too weak to do anything, so they got rid of it. But when they made this, they were trying to figure out 2 problems. 1, how much power should the national government have? And 2, how do we have fair voting among the states? And the answer was, there was 2 options on the table. Should every state get the same amount of votes regardless of size? They had tried that with the Articles and it didn't work. Or should it be based on population? The answer is both. So that's why Congress has 2 sides and 2 houses. It's called bicameral. I have a memory check for you. To remember about the legislative branch having 2 sides, 2 houses, here's my memory trick. The first one's the Senate. Well, it's technically the second, but work with me. That's the easier memory trick. Senate has 2 syllables. Senate. That's how we know how many votes each state gets. Regardless of size, they have 2 votes in the Senate. House of Representatives is the other one. House of Representatives takes forever to say. That's where big states get bigger votes. It's based on population. Well, land doesn't really vote, so Alaska's not the biggest. It depends on how many people are there. I know it is confusing because Alaska is like a huge place, but it's not the biggest. By land-wise, yes, but that's geography. That's for another day. All right, so that's Article 1 of our current form of government. Article 2 is going to be executive branch. This is the president and his cabinet. Yeah, I know it does sound like a kitchen cabinet. A cabinet is a group of people that are going to be handling or executing or carrying out all the different laws. So once the president signs it, he doesn't go around himself like personally making sure it happens. He gives them to secretaries of each department. So there's the Department of the Interior. They handle everything about national parks. So if there's a law about a new national park, he gives it to that secretary to handle. No, it's not like a secretary, it's really fun. So, and of course, Article 3, you can see here, that's about the judicial branch. And setting up exactly what this branch should look like. How do we know how the justices should be picked or appointed and then approved? It also talks about how to elect the president. Same thing with Congress, absolutely, both houses. So the Constitution starts with a C. Current starts with a C. Yes, this is our current form of government. Very good. All right, well, I tell you what, our time's almost over, so why don't we do this? Let's go through a few more of those flashcards just to see if we've improved. And then we'll stop there for the day. Yeah, we didn't get to Bill of Rights and articles so much, but that's okay. No, I want to use our time to really focus on areas that I know you need in this next class, so that way you will. Okay, so here we go. What document was signed at the end of the Constitutional Convention? Good, using that memory trick. It is in the question, you're right. Constitution. Very good. Yep. Delegates met to revise the articles. Where? So article starts with an A. That comes first. What came after the articles? What's our current form of government? Constitution. And what's the meeting where they all met? You're close. Constitutional Convention. We'll keep working on this one. Which branch of government has the judicial branch? Excuse me. Did I just give the answer? Silly me. I do that all the time. Which document was written during the American Revolution and had many weaknesses? Oh, did I? No, wrong one. So, there we go. What document was written during the American Revolution and listed the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Yeah, the keyword's American Revolution. So we're trying to revolt. We're trying to get rid of the king. So we're trying to become independent. Yes. Declaration. Good. Very, very good. Do you want to do a few more on your own? Yeah, I think, if your ride's here, that's fine. Okay, great. Well, thanks for meeting with me. I'm really looking forward to getting together for tutoring. Yeah, anytime. Okay, so we did some documents. Next time we'll review a little bit more. We can talk about Bill of Rights, or the Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom if you want. Or we could dive right into geography. Okay? Yeah. Let me know how classes go. Okay? Alright. I'll see you next time.